All right. What up, players? So hope you guys enjoyed that little video at the beginning and stuff like that. I've been stealing Instagram posts from drummer friends of mine. This case, that was Eric Dancy. If you want to go and follow him, I'll put some links in the description. And I just like to write some cool riffs and stuff on top of what they've been jamming to. So this video I kind of wanted to do like, knock two birds with one stone and kind of show you how to get a cool sound just using stock plugins and Pro Tools. Now, recently, I don't remember exactly when, but Avid decided to include all their plugins that they make inside of the Pro Tools subscription. So that's what I did. I mixed the whole thing. I did all the guitar tones with stock Avid plugins. I did the bass tones with stock Avid plugins. And then I mixed the whole song and sort of mastered it with stock plugins. So let's get into it. All right. So first off, I'm going to start with the drums that I got from Eric. I don't know exactly what he did. I'm assuming he did a little bit of a mix and stuff like that. But I just have a stereo bounce file, right? What I did is that I feel like, especially for the track that I was going for, they were lacking a little bit of a smack. So I kind of like trick the audience's ear into, I made sort of like this fake room with a lot of distortion at the beginning. So then when the track actually comes in, it sounds like there's more smack going on, right? So let's see, I have the drums soloed. I'll solo it with this, and let's listen to that very quick. Right, so you can see how I automated, I'm using the space plugin with this sort of like off vibey looking space. This is a convolution reverb. And then I'm using the tape saturation to get some distortion out of it. So this is how it sounds without the tape saturation. Right? I use the lo-fi setting so it sounds like even more roomy and just like more distant. There's not a whole lot of low end coming through. But then as soon as it comes in, it's just bam, smack, right? Also, I noticed that there was like some kind of problematic frequencies a little bit. There was too much of like low end buildup on the stereo track, so I just like ducked it down a little bit, right? And then I applied this impact compressor, which is kind of like in the vein of an SSL G comp, and just to kind of give it a little bit of glue and a little bit of vibe and stuff. So let's move on to guitars very quick. Oh yeah, very quick. I just did some parallel compression, and then I did this kind of like fake room. I'll let you listen how that sounds very quick. It's very subtle, but it makes a difference. All right, so let's go on to guitars. Guitar land. So for guitars, I was actually pretty blown away by this plugin. I'm really liking it. I've used the light version in the past when it wasn't included, but it's the 11 MK2. I'm assuming it's like all the stuff that was included in the 11 rack or something like that. Maybe the 11 rack had more horsepower and obviously DSP and whatnot. But what I'm doing is using this DC Modern with the 4x12 greenback cab. And what I'm doing is I'm using the green JRC overdrive, which is basically a tube screamer, to kind of boost the amp and get rid of that like muddy low end and make it a little bit tighter. So here's how the guitars sound. Slop Central. So basically, on the other one, I'm just using a different cab, but it's basically the same tone, and I'm just changing the impulse response. I just like to have different cabs on each side of my guitar tracks. Let's take a listen here to this first lead too. Just copied the same settings, but I added a tape echo to it. Okay, so let's listen how these leads sound. And basically I'm using the same tone for this tap-in section at the end. All right, so let's move on to that bass. So for the bass, I'm using two tones that I'm blending. I'm using this kind of like just very low end, heavy, clean bass sound. 1 second, let's solo the bass bus. Let's go right here. Kind of has like an Ampeg kind of vibe. And then I'm using this pretty distorted one, which I'm using the same like DC Modern amp and I was using on guitars. Sounds pretty mean. So then with those combined, I get this pretty awesome dirt bass track. Then with the low end, I'm doing this trick on guitars too, where I'm just compressing the low end a little bit, multiband compression. Then I'm doing a little bit of cleanup EQ. Then I'm using this compressor, the G comp one, to kind of like glue things together. And then I'm using this limiter to just like lock that low end down, right? And just lock the bass down so it's not moving a whole lot. That's pretty much it on bass. Then for the master, I put, again, the G compressor style on the bus, just to give it, you know, it's just barely touching. It's just a little bit of gain reduction on it. Well, actually, now I have my master down just because for levels with my talking voice and all that stuff. But this is like getting maybe 2 dB of gain reduction, and then I have this limiter to bring the track back to like regular loudness. So this limiter is actually pretty cool. You can see your LUFS levels and all that stuff like that for loudness. So you can pull in like a reference track, and if you're trying to reach the loudness of another track, you can compare it with this. Really awesome. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and you know, now you can get back to recording and doing all your fun stuff. And I don't think there's anything stopping you from making great mixes or making great music, right? All these plugins sound pretty decent. It's what you do with them that's going to count at the end of the day. So hopefully you like this video. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I try to make videos every week. Don't forget to hit that notification bell, you know, so you can know whenever I put out a video. And drop a like. It helps the algorithms. It helps me a lot. And if any questions, drop them down in the comments, all right? Catch you on the next one. Peace.